Good morning, students. Today we will read about the pollination and different types of pollination. First of all, what is pollination? The process of transferring pollen grains from one flower to another is known as pollination. Two types of pollination are there: self pollination, cross pollination. Self pollination, when the pollen moves from the anther to the stigma of the same flower or a flower in the same plant, is called self pollination. Self means अपने आप, अपने साथ. तो एक ही प्लांट के एक ही फ्लावर्स में या उसी प्लांट के दूसरे फ्लावर के साथ. It is possible only if the pollen and the ovary mature at the same time. Then self pollination occurs there. And cross pollination, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of a flower to the stigma of a flower borne by another plant. That means it occurs in two different plants, and nature always favors sexual over asexual reproduction. Since sexual reproduction brings in diversity among species, depending on the agent involved in transfer of pollens, cross pollination could be of different types. So first is, depending on the agent, it is divided into many types. First is entomophily. Entomophily is in these plants the pollens are distributed by the insects. When the insect sits on the flower, then the pollen grains get stick to its body, its wings, and when it go to the other flower, then it get transferred. So naturally flowers of these plants are brightly colored and contain nectar, and nectar means honey, the juice and the fragrance to attract insects. So why the flowers are so beautiful or brightly colored? It is to attract insects. The examples are rose, poppy, hibiscus, in which the pollination occurs by insects. Second is anemophily. Anemophily, when the pollens are carried by wind, then it is known as anemophily. Here the flowers are odorless. Odorless means smellless. No smell is there. And nectarless. No juices, no odor, smell is there, because the wind has to blow it. So it does not attract animals. Pollens are light and dry so that they can be carried easily by wind. And examples in which the pollination occurs by the wind are found in grasses like the maize. Then hydrophily. Hydro, as the name indicate, the pollen grain transfers through water, and it can be found in water plants like sea grasses. So it is important to remember that hydrophily is found in plants who have flowers under water. In case of flowers of aquatic plants that grow above the surface, for example lotus, anemophily take place. So it is clear to you, जो पानी के नीचे ग्रो करता है उसमें हाइड्रोफिली होगा, but that means by the water. But some plants are there whose root are in the water, but the stem and the flower is above the water surface. For example, lotus, where the anemophily takes place, that means by the wind. Then ornithophily. Here pollination happens by birds. Flowers that allow birds to collect nectar have funnel-like shape. Hummingbirds and sunbirds are common agent for hibiscus and daffodil. That means in hibiscus and daffodil, The pollination takes place by the birds, and the birds involved there are hummingbird and sunbirds. Then Chiropterophily. Sorry, Chiropterophily. Some big flowers with very strong smell are pollinated by bats. Bats, and the types are known as Cheroterophily. This is the flowers that are white and large with a musky odor experience this kind of pollination. Here, the pollination takes place by bats, by the help of bats. So, five types are there depending on the agent: entomophily by insects, anemophily by wind, hydrophily by water, ornithophily by birds, and chirotherophily by bats. Then fertilization. Plant fertilization is the process by which the male and female gamete of the plant fuses to form zygote or the fertilized egg. Fertilized egg is also known as zygote. The male and female gamete combine, and this process is known as fertilization. Since male and female gametes are born away from each other, pollination is required here to precede the fertilization process. So, first, the pollen lands on the stigma. Look here, two different flowers are there. The pollen grains come to the stigma of another flower. With the help of suitable pollinator, that means sometime by the insect, sometime by the wind or water, it has to reach on stigma of the flower. When pollen grains of the same species fall on the stigma, the pollen grow a tube-like pathway called pollen tube. Here, inside the inner part, that is the stigma, the pollen tube develops there, which reaches to the ovary of the flower. So the next step is the pollen tube keeps growing till it reaches the ovary inside the ovule. See here the pollen tube is developed. It is pollen tube which is inside this, and it reaches to the ovary inside the ovule. This is ovary, it has to be reached inside the ovule at the ovary. Finally, the male and female gamete fuse together here in the ovary to form the zygote. And after fertilization, the ovary grows to become a fruit, and the ovule turns into seeds, and the rest of the flower dry up and falls off. Other part गिर जाता है और अब उसका काम खत्म हो गया. Now the ovary develops into a fruit and ovule develops into seeds, and the fruit is then spread to a place where they can germinate to form a new plant. Here the fruit, this is the seed which is then germinate to form a new plant. So this is all about the sexual reproduction of plant. Dispersal of fruits and seeds. Formation of seed is not good enough to ensure that the plant would give rise to its offspring, and if the seeds fall off near the parent plant, it will be deprived of sunlight or other resources. So this is the reason why fruits carry seeds away from the parent plant. जहाँ मेन प्लांट होता है वहाँ से ये दूर जाके कहीं गिरना होता है या गिरना चाहिए, जिससे कि ये अगर पेरेंट प्लांट के नज़दीक है तो सनलाइट और अदर सोर्सेस का कमी हो सकता है. सो द प्रोसेस बाय विच फ्रूट्स एंड सीड्स आर ट्रांसफर्ड अवे फ्रॉम द पेरेंट प्लांट by different agent is known as dispersal. Same as pollination, dispersal of seeds can also be done by different methods, by different agents, and first is by wind. If it is carried by the wind, then it should be light and dry, and the example is cotton and dandelion. This is having hair-like projection, so it is very light and it can be blown away by the wind. Second, dispersal by water. Many aquatic plants and some plants which live near the water bodies, the seed transfer there or seed disperse there by the help of water. For example, coconut seeds, because it is lightweight and waterproof, they can float a long distance in water. Then in water lilies, fruits float in the water for a while and drops down to the bottom and grow roots at the bottom of the pond. Then dispersal by animals. Sometimes animals and birds, they eat fruits and throw the seeds, and if it is not digested or excreted in their droppings someplace away, and then it grows there, the plants grow there, the same plants. For example, the animals involved there are squirrels, which bury seed coating fruits for later use and germinate into plants. In cockleber, there are hooks or sticky structure that stick to an animal's coat and are then transported to the another place. Sometimes humans also play a big role in dispersing seeds because they carry fruits to new place and throw the seeds there, and these seeds develops into a new plant. In this way, the dispersal of seed also done by different methods. So the reproduction in plants chapter now it is completed.